Hope, transforming lives into legacies. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil. And now, today's word.
The final fifth dimension of wisdom is that wisdom is governmental. Governmental. That is ruling with fairness and equity. Now, I know when I say governmental, the first thing you think about is the government. But in the Hebrew society, where much of the wisdom we know in the Bible originated from, the first governmental system was the family. So when you read the book of Proverbs, you'll find phrases like my son, or my mother told me, or my father told me, because it was how to govern your home. You see wisdom in the way a home is governed. You can go to a home and the walls have all kinds of drawings on them because they're children. And there are cars and there are trains and the walls are dirty and there's crayon, there's chalk, and you ask the parents, why is the wall dirty? They say, the children. And then you go to another home which has similar number of children at similar age and there's no writing on the wall. So how come they write on your wall, they don't write on another wall? It's your wisdom, the governmental system, how a family is organized. You go to a home and a visitor comes and a 3-year-old child comes out and comes in front and stands in front of the child, of the visitor and takes a salute and says, "Good morning, sir, Mr. Otabil. You are welcome to our house." And he goes. Then you go to another home and a 3-year-old comes and he comes and pinches you. And he goes. Wisdom in manifestation. So for the Hebrews, wisdom was how you govern. And the first place you govern is your home. I've told the story before years ago. May God forgive me my sins. In the days of ignorance, I won't do that now, but I did it then. I visited this church member, and I was in the sitting room, and the child was there just pinching me, spitting on me, stomping my feet, and the parents were there saying, "Oh, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. No, it's not good. He's a pastor. Don't do that." And they weren't stopping him. And this boy is torturing my life, but I'm a pastor. I have to be nice. You can be bad. You can just so. He's torturing me, and I just handled it spiritually, God. And at a point in the visit, the parents left the room with the child. And he came to pinch me, and God forgive me my sins. I knocked his head. I did. Now, don't do that to anybody's child. I was a young pastor. I didn't know much. But I knocked his head. And the parents came. He was crying, yeah, mommy. The parents came and said, What's happened? He says, yeah, pointing to me. And I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should do that to little kids. Some of them are too active, and they need a little bit more control. But don't just say, this is how they are. Don't ever say that. You can govern people. You can govern people. The same Ghanaians who urinate in the street here go to London. And their body functions the same way, but they don't urinate on the street. Why? It's governed. They are governed. Their desire is governed. their desire is governed. They would hoard whatever they are feeling for 5 hours to get to the right place to deposit it. How come here they have no patience? Because the wisdom for the governance of the space we have is weak. Wisdom is the principal thing. And for the Hebrews, wisdom was in governance in these 5 dimensions. I'm going to say 4 things about wisdom and then I close for today. There's so much to share in this series. I'm just trying to take my time. There are 4 things we want to look at concerning wisdom. First is that wisdom is the map that moves you from where you are to your destination. Wisdom is your map. It is your navigating instrument through the changing seasons of life. As you move through life, you're going to be guided by the wisdom you have. And when you come to a junction in your life and don't know where to turn, wisdom will determine where you turn. It is your map. Wisdom is your map. And if you're confused in life and don't know where to turn, there is a deficiency in wisdom. There is a deficiency. And don't worry, later I'll teach about how to get it. But today I'm just focusing on its importance. Wisdom is the map that moves you to your destination. Secondly, wisdom is the gap between your problems and your solutions. Every problem in life has a solution, some form of a solution. And each one of us stands between our problems and our solutions. The problems we have may be problems of how to live a holy life, how to grow spiritually, how to get along with your spouse, how to have financial security, how to develop in your professional life, how to raise your children, how to maintain good relationships. These are all problems we have. People don't get on with you. You don't get on well with people. People bypass you in promotion. You work and work and work. You don't get promotion. You work and work and work. You're not financially secure. Your marriage is not working the way you want. Your children are not well organized. These are problems. They have solutions. They have solutions. The gap between your problem and your solution is wisdom. It's wisdom. I told you the story before. When I was in school, I hated mathematics. I'm so sorry I hated mathematics because now I need it more than ever. But I hated it like most people hated it because my mind couldn't handle multiplying numbers with alphabets and dividing numbers. Once you go into alphabets and numbers, my mind just does tricks. Once you stay with numbers, I'm fine. You stay with alphabets, I'm okay. You mix them, I just can't get it. I just can't. Why X is this and why X, Y, especially when the XY times XY squared. What's that? They should have found better ways of teaching me that subject, but those things didn't help. And I remember in a mathematics class where, normally they give you an assignment, they work out examples, help you to work the examples, then they give you the problem. And they gave us a problem. It was in the textbook problem. I tried to work it out. I didn't get the answer. Tried to work it out, didn't get the answer. Tried to work it out, didn't get the answer. I tried about 4 or 5 times, didn't get the answer. So finally I concluded the question is wrong. The question is wrong. So I took the textbook and I went to my maths teacher and said, "Sir, this question is wrong." Yeah, I said, this question is wrong. He says, "Which one, Otable? This question is wrong." He said, "Why do you say it's wrong?" I said, "I've worked it the way you say we should work it. I have done everything, I'm not getting the answer. The book has made a mistake." He So he called for another student in the class, same problem, and he says, show Otabil the answer. So he showed me the answer, and he had answered it. So really, the question wasn't wrong. My knowledge was inadequate. That's how sometimes the problems of life are. Your problem is not wrong. It's your wisdom. It's not that your wife is too hard, your husband is too hard. It's your wisdom. It's not that there's no money in the system. It's your wisdom. It's not that as for children, no matter what you do, as for children, they are wayward. As for children, they are bad. It's your wisdom. Once you settle that the gap between your problem and your solution is wisdom, you don't blame the problem. You go get wisdom. Because in all you're getting, get wisdom. Wisdom is the gap between your problem and your solution. Every problem you have has a solution, and that solution is available. Third statement I want to make. Now, by now, you know that I'm alliterating. I started using map, gap. Third one. Wisdom is the tap. Wisdom is the tap through which your energies flow. Wisdom is the tap through which your energies flow. Everything you have, every gift, every talent, every ability is channeled through your wisdom. It's the tap. What will happen if you have a large reservoir of water, but you channeling it through a choked pipeline? There will be no flow. It wouldn't be an absence of water, but the pipe is choked. When your wisdom pipeline is choked, it blocks the flow of your talent, your abilities, your gifts. What will happen if you have a reservoir of pure water, but the pipeline is filthy? It will contaminate the water. The problem is not the purity of the water at its source, it is the wisdom that is channeling it. It's filthy, it's wrong. That's why you can pour everything. I mean, people think their problem is money. You can pour money on people and they'll still go broke. They'll still go broke. You can give them all. People think it's, maybe if I get a salary raise, if my salary is doubled, I'll be fine. Yeah, for a person who knows how to manage, they will be fine. But for a person who is a mismanager, they will only mismanage a larger amount this time. If the pipeline is filthy, everything that flows through it will be filthy. Wisdom is your tap. And final statement. Wisdom is the cap to your performance in life. You cannot act beyond your level of wisdom. As your wisdom is, so is your life. Wisdom is the limit to your performance. It is like the cap of a bottle. Once you cap a bottle, nothing can be added to it. It's capped. Your wisdom is the cap. It is the uppermost limit of what you can achieve. So when I find myself going through cycle, I have to check my wisdom. Usually, our lives would move through 3-year cycles. Every 3 years, you have to renew yourself. Every 3 years. Otherwise, you get stuck in life. Every 3 years. Every 3 years. Every 3 years, you have to expand yourself. You have to stretch yourself because you need more capacity to grow. Wisdom is the cap to your performance. And when a person is capped, nothing they experience would improve their performance. Have you noticed, those of you who work in big corporations, there are people who have gone for all the courses all the seminars, all the workshops, but there's not 1 inch of improvement in their performance. The people who have taken all the customer service courses, client services courses, human services courses, hello, smiling services, they've done all of that, but still on the job, they are mean to people. What they've done is they've capped themselves with wisdom. There is a fundamental understanding that hasn't shifted. And until that is shifted, you are pouring all those seminars and courses into a wasted venture. Wisdom is your cap. Wisdom is the tap. Wisdom is the map. You have to have wisdom. In all you're getting, get wisdom. Now, if the Bible tells us in all you're getting, get wisdom, it means it's possible to get it. So it's not as if it's some unattainable virtue that nobody can get. You can get it. You can get it as an individual. I can get it as an individual. My level of performance today is the cup. It's determined by my wisdom. So if I'm not performing beyond this level, it's because my wisdom has determined this is how far you go. Even I have a cup, and I think you have a cup too. So if I want to go beyond this, my wisdom cup must move to a higher level so I can grow into it. It is the fundamental law of the universe. It is God's language. God himself established the universe on wisdom. And I really pray that throughout this series that God will help all of us, me, you, all of us, help all of us to expand in wisdom, to grow in wisdom, to get understanding, so we can move our lives along the path God has called us. Amen.